Hello everybody and welcome back to Rogue Reefing and welcome back to another Prehistoric Kingdom dev diary here. So it's been a while since I have uploaded a video and I will explain that, but really quickly for those of you that don't care or you're new to the channel and you just want to get into the dev diary, I'll drop a link or a timestamp down below, so feel free to skip ahead for that. But for those of you that are a fan of the channel that have been following along for some time now, you may have seen the last video and seen that I left my previous job, which was at the art museum here in Orlando, Florida, where I live. But currently I got a new job, which actually takes up quite a bit of time. I'm recording this as I'm getting home from work, but these videos are easy enough to record. They're kind of just me rambling and talking into the microphone with my thoughts going over these dev diaries here. They're not as involved as building in a video. But that said, I got a new job. I actually work in a coral aquaculture facility. Specifically, I work in service there, so I'm actually taking care of other people's tanks instead of my own tanks. So yeah, rogue reefing is not so rogue anymore, but that is okay. And maybe in the future here, we'll start integrating more reefing videos onto the channel. For those of you that are familiar with the lore of the channel, that's actually how it started. That's where the name comes from. Rogue Reefing is I wanted to kind of create a channel where I could have videos showcasing like budget reef aquarium, coral reef aquarium stuff, and freshwater as well. But yeah, anyway, that's sort of that, and we will jump into the video now and talk about the June dev diary. And boy, is it full of surprises. So first and foremost, you might see right here, right at the top, we are getting breeding in this next update here. So update 15 is going to be bringing breeding to Prehistoric Kingdom finally. And this was something that they originally slated for the end of early access, which I believe would have been back in like the end of this year sort of thing. But now we actually have sort of an ETA of when this update is gonna be coming out, and it's gonna be coming out hopefully, I believe it says here, where does it say? Yeah, update 15 coming in late August. So it was pushed back, or the public test branch is going to be in late July. So if you're watching this, tomorrow, or maybe when I upload this tomorrow, we'll see when it gets out. Then it's going to be coming out this month technically, but the official full release is going to be in August. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. We can see here just sort of what this is going to look like. We have a Tyrannosaurus family here with 2 parental units and these little babies here all scattered around this nest, and that is going to be a very important thing going forward for this as we talk about breeding here. And just buckle up, I guess, because this is pretty crazy. So first and foremost, when it comes to breeding animals in Prehistoric Kingdom, this has been something that if you are on Reddit at all, you all will have seen sort of people asking this question constantly, especially after the baby animals were dropped in the game. People were like, how do I breed them? How do I breed them? And, the answer was always, it'll come eventually. And, it's not here now, but it will be here very, very soon. And so for all of you people wondering out there, your wishes have been granted here. And so tying into breeding here right at the very top is fertility. And that makes sense, of course. You can't have babies without having fertility. And so this fertility measure here is going to differ depending on the age of the animal. Of course, a baby animal can't have another baby animal. They have to be fully mature, fully grown, but also the neoteny, or the growth speed, is also playing a key role in this as well. They say here that players that take their time to raise these animals from babies to adults, so like we've done in the Paleo Springs videos that we have here on the channel, I have set this neoteny slider all the way down to the realistic time span, and that basically means that the neoteny here will age up very, 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 very slow. These animals will age up super, super, super slow. And so they say here that players again will be rewarded for that, which means that if you bump that slider all the way down, then you will have more fertile animals. But if you bump it all the way up, or say you have a fully mature animal right out the gate, it'll have really low fertility. And I like this sort of workaround here. I like that, you know, they're not having the fertility be the same across the board. And this is also going to be different depending on species as well. So, you know, for example, sauropods can have hundreds of babies in real life. They can have hundreds of eggs in a clutch. Now, the kicker is that not all of them would survive. And, you know, conversely, a coelodonta, or, you know, a woolly rhinoceros, similar to modern day rhinoceros, have 1 to 2 calves at a given birth. And those calves are pretty much guaranteed to survive. Of course, nothing is 100%, but they are more likely to survive than the hundreds of sauropod eggs in that clutch there. So yeah, I like how they're handling this with the fertility. I'm really excited to see how it works in the game here. And then coming on to breeding, season, and courtship. Now this is really exciting to me personally. I love that they're integrating more things with the time in the game. So again, these animals will be aging up in a sort of time scale, but they will also be interacting with that calendar year in the form of breeding seasons, and, you know, tying into when they can have these clutches and when they can start, you know, mating and getting partners and all this other sort of stuff here. So you can see here, just for an example, I have no idea if this is going to be accurate representation in the game itself. These dates might change, but as of now, July to September is when the Tyrannosaurus has its breeding season here. You can see some other stats here. Embryo survival chance is 50%. Incubation time is about 3 months. Nesting module, they need a large one here. We will talk about the nesting module here very soon. But yeah, this T-Rex Gary here is in the right season. And so yeah, that's going to be really exciting to see how that all works here. We have here, you know, a display of a Leiolinosaurus here, waving its little cottontail up in the air for a female Leiolinosaurus. I presume at least this is the male here, just because of the coloration here on it. But it'll be awesome to see more features added to these animals, to their AI, that allow them to interact with each other and to interact with the world around them. I know a lot of people have also asked about combat and, you know, how are the animals going to fight each other and all that sort of stuff. And that's coming again down the road here as well. I think it's coming in the update after this. This update is already large as it is anyway. We're getting Gallimimus, we're getting a special dinosaur that they released at the end of this dev diary, so stick around for that. But we're also now getting paleobotany, and we're getting nesting and breeding behaviors for these animals, which is just, you know, unbelievable. When it comes to these sorts of games, these sorts of like zoo simulation games here, to have breeding be a part of it, that's almost like bog standard. You know, Zoo Tycoon back in the day had breeding, in those games. And I remember as a kid, you know, trying to breed the tigers in Zoo Tycoon to get all of the white tigers in there. You know, obviously, if you guys have seen any of my videos, you know that I'm not a big fan today of the leucistic and melanistic dinosaurs or animals here in the game. I think they're cool and all, but we're getting custom skins as well. So you can kind of see here, you can design your own skin here to an extent. You still, you know, it's not like, you know, you can upload a PNG here and create a brand new skin. That would be awesome. I'm sure modders will add that here eventually, but you know, you can pick and choose, and then you can change, like, they're not showing it here, but you can change like the saturation and the hues of these skins here to make them more or less intense. It's awesome. It's amazing here. But yeah, I mean, this whole idea of breeding, I'll save to the end. I'll save my thoughts before I get too ahead of myself here and start talking about another game that is coming out very soon that we will be playing on the channel here. But yeah, I'll hold off my opinions for now. So tying into this breeding here, along with breeding seasons and courtship, is also nesting and bedding. So we can see some images here. These are 3 nesting sizes, and I hope this is coming off across the camera here, but there's a small one, a medium one, and a large one here. And this is where the animals are actually going to lay their eggs. And they say here, different species will require different size nests. Again, that makes sense. T-Rex can't use a very small nest, and Velociraptor probably wouldn't want a big giant nest for its very few eggs. So yeah, so we have some images here of, you know, a Triceratops family with their mound here, and I love how this is blending in with the foliage in the game and with the sort of environment that they're in. This is the coastal biome here that you can tell because of these redwood trees, and you know, this is just a perfect fit. This is going to look amazing in Paleo Springs there. And you know, going here to a desert biome, we have 2 velociraptors with a little nest there next to them, and yeah, it's amazing. We have here as well sort of a T-Rex here. You can see piling up this dirt on the nest to raise it up so that it can create sort of a mound for its eggs to go in, similar to alligators and crocodiles today that will lay their eggs in mounds and cover them so that they stay incubated all together, but also to sort of additionally protect them from predators. And it's a good bet that these dinosaurs would have done the same thing as well. Yeah, and it says that T-Rex will build a mound-styled nest in the final update, so probably won't be in the public test branch, but it'll definitely be in that final update for this update that is coming out here. They also mention here that mammals don't lay eggs. I think everybody knew that. No, you know, there are exceptions to that. We don't have monotremes in the game, but if you are a fan of a monotreme, then the Mesozoic was the period for you, and maybe we'll get some mammals in the future that are Mesozoic mammals that do lay eggs. But for now, what these mammals need is a nesting bed, which basically is an area where when they are in labor, they will go and lay down and they will give birth to their young there on that bed, which I like. You know, I think that's a good way of doing that. I think for the mammals, they could have gotten away with, you know, they have their offspring anywhere in the enclosure. I think that would have been a little bit more realistic, but I understand where they're coming from. And again, they do answer all of these questions down below here, but they mention here specifically that this birthing bed, as it's called, which is, you know, a name for it, also acts as a sort of birth control. So this habitat here, I know I keep clicking on this image, has Coelodonta and Elasmotherium. but they only have elasmotherium babies here in this bed, and see they have 2 of 2. So this elasmotherium had 2 little babies here on this bed, and this acts as a sort of separate nesting area is what they say here. They also mention further on down that it also acts as sort of a birth control for other animals or animals that you don't want breeding in your enclosures. You can sort of pick and choose that way. You know, we have another beautiful shot here of T-Rex mom's mouth, the little babies here, these hatched eggs, very, very reminiscent of Jurassic Park here. I'm super excited for this. And again, I love how the texture just blends over into this nest here and makes it so that it's like one seamless sort of area here. Another shot here of a cave bear with her 3 cubs there. Again, textures blending. It's amazing. I love this. This was a huge surprise when I read over this today while I was at work, but I read over it just to sort of wrap my head around it, because I knew this was going to be a big one. It's a big video, it's a big update that's coming out, so it's better to know, you know, this sort of things. This is their FAQ. I am not going to read over every single one of them. You can feel free to pause the video and read over them if you would like. But I will mention here one of my questions that I had. This was not my question specifically. I think they pulled these off of Reddit, but this question here, or off of their Patreon or something like that. But this question here of what will happen when animals of 2 different skins breed together. They say here that a skin will be randomly assigned from the mother or the father. So it's just like a roll of the dice. I'm okay with this. I wish they had a mechanic for sort of a skin blending here. So you could kind of create like, I don't want to say like a bespoke skin, but I know that that's so much more work for the art department. They have already created the work of making these little babies here size up seamlessly into the full-grown adults, and there's no other game in existence that does that. So kudos to them, and you know, take a W where you can get it, and you know, this is a big one. So yeah, nesting details here, they say that you know, you can see these eggs here, some Plateosaurus there in the background. These eggs here are being covered up by the dirt here. And they actually have this little video here that I hope doesn't have sound. I'm going to turn the sound off, but you can see here in this video how it's being piled up for the different species here. So every species, every animal is going to have a different way of doing their nests. And then they also have here the textures. Oh, that's cool. I wonder then, can we change the textures on this, or is this just how they come? This is how the eggs are populated here in the nest. See, they're being covered up there, and yeah, then they hatch. There are different kinds of eggs, which I am so excited about. I'm so pumped for this, because almost always the eggs in dinosaur games are these ovoid or round eggs, and yes, you can see the polygons here on the round eggs. It is what it is. But the ovoid or the round eggs are pretty much always what you would see in a dinosaur game. These long ones here are very reminiscent, again, of Jurassic Park, if you're a fan of that series. This is sort of the classic sort of dinosaur shape egg. I think when I was a kid, I'll try to throw up an image if I can find it, but I think when I was a kid, there was a oatmeal that had like dinosaur eggs in it, sort of thing, that would dissolve in the oatmeal and like hatch a dinosaur. I don't know. I'll try to find an image. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments below as well. Did you have that as a kid, or am I just sort of a weird dinosaur kid? And I have always been a dinosaur kid. But anyway, they're also adding a soft egg, and I'm so excited for this, because those soft eggs are very reminiscent of eggs of reptiles today. So lizards, oftentimes, if you think of like an anole or an iguana or something like that, they'll have a soft egg that's sort of soft to the touch, with a gooey inside there for that egg. And I think that's so, I think turtles actually have those as well, or they might be the round and then they harden as they go. I'm not entirely sure on that, but they also come in different colors here, which is awesome. You know, they have these speckled white ones, they have these brown speckled ones, these sort of dirty soft eggs here, and then these like robin's egg blue. I'm so excited for this. This is incredible. And then they also show here the different orientations that these eggs can go in. So these three are inside the nest here. I don't know, again, which dinosaurs these are representative of being. I would imagine this is probably like 90% of the dinosaurs in here. This one here, the eggs laid on the side, I believe this is like a Maiasaura or something like that, like the good mother dinosaur. I think this is that. I could be wrong. Again, correct me in the comments if I am incorrect on that. Definitely, you know, let everybody else know. But yeah, I really love this like on the outer rim nesting here, sort of propping the egg up. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah. For those of you that haven't been keeping up with this update or aren't part of the Patreon group that Prehistoric Kingdom has, we are getting Galliomimus in this next update, and I could not be more thrilled. And they have finally released the baby Galliomimus that looks absolutely heart-crushingly adorable. These little baby chickens here, I cannot wait for them to just start romping around the park here. They really just do look like little baby ostriches or little baby emus with their, you know, their tail and their sort of floppy characteristics. I love all these little baby animals here. I'm a fan of baby animals in real life, and I'm a fan of baby animals here in this game. What can I say? I'm a connoisseur. So they also have here, you know, some of the skins of Galliomimus. Really excited for this here. And this is the ontogeny time lapse of that, so you can see that these pin feathers here get longer and longer and longer, and they'll naturally gradually get like fluffier and fluffier. It's a little stuttery right now, but I think over the course of, you know, if you set this to the realistic time frame like I do for my parks, you won't notice this stuttering here, but this is definitely because it's sped up here. Again, they have side by side. This was the original Galliomimus back when the game first, you know, was announced, and here's where it is now. It is light years ahead of where it was back then. They are also updating the ground textures for this update as well. People have given feedback in the community that they wanted more texture in the grass, and so they are giving us more textures in the grasses. So you can see a little swatch here of all of these different grasses here, and they said that they I think this was in one of their Patreon early access things, that they said that the grass is different sizes now. So like there's a long and a short version for every single biome. I could be wrong on that. I believe I'm remembering that correctly, but yeah, they don't mention it in here. So again, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here for the grasses. As most of you guys know already, we are getting paleobotany, which means that they have to mention even more plants here. I think they're saying, yeah, they finally have 32 species of plants with over 200 variants of these different plants here. It's incredible, and 22 new paleobotany formations. So you can see here the new UI for this. So we have now the ones with the leaf on them. These dig sites with the leaf is where you would get those paleo Paleozoic plants, or those paleontological plants, I guess you could say. Paleobotanical, that's what it is. Paleobotanical plants here for your parks. And again, you can use them in there once you unlock them and discover them. And I am excited for all of these in the park here. Again, some beautiful pictures here. If you want to pause to really take this in, feel free to. But yeah, these are awesome. These are the Mesozoic boreal environments, which you don't really think about a Mesozoic boreal environment too much, but this would be, you know, sort of the ideal habitat for Leiolinosaurus and something there. So of those, you know, dinosaurs that lived closer to Antarctica, which is a fun sort of juxtaposition to think about. They also have the Mesozoic desert, the classic Velociraptor here with these Mesozoic plants. Again, for those of you that have been keeping up with these dev diaries before, you'll know that I've mentioned a few times that when it comes to these plants, I don't know exactly everything about them. So when this update releases, shortly after, I'm going to be making a video on all of the plants and giving you guys a rundown of like, why is this one particular plant that's in this game, why is this interesting, what are some things about it, you know, so that we all can learn, myself included, about some of these plants here, to better understand them, but also better understand the sort of relationship that these plants have with the animals in the game. This is a Mesozoic grassland. This is bananas to me. This does not look like a grassland to me personally. This looks like a scrubland or like a very shrubby sort of environment, but I guess in the Mesozoic this was a grassland because again, there was no grass per se in the Mesozoic time period. Not really until like the late end of the Cretaceous is when grass first started to arrive. So this is pretty much what a Mesozoic grassland would have looked like. And I'm really interested to see, yeah, they even mentioned in here, grass didn't evolve until the end of the Cretaceous period. So I'm really interested to see, is this Jurassic? Is this Cretaceous? Is this both? Is it toggleable for one time period or the next? I don't know. I'm really excited to see because either way, we're going to be changing around some of the exhibits that we have in Paleo Springs and in Attenborough Gardens there for those of you that have checked out that new series. Again, that one kind of ended abruptly like 3 weeks ago, just because I got a new job, but all of these things will be resuming and much more. But yeah, Mesozoic wetland, I am super excited for this. You know, living in Florida, I live in wetlands. Technically, I live in an upland, but I live not far away from wetlands, and I grew up in wetlands, and so I am very excited for this. You can see those horsetails there in the background that are as tall as that Spinosaurus is. I'm super excited for this. This Deinonychus here, here in these you know, floating plants here. Yeah, this is awesome. This is amazing. I could go on about this forever, but I won't. I will save that for a future video. Surprise, surprise, we are getting a new dinosaur. They just unveiled the second species for this update, and it is the Oviraptor. I could not be more excited for this. Oviraptor is one of my favorite dinosaurs, and yes, I know I say that about every single dinosaur in every single video that is on my channel, but I swear this time Oviraptor is my favorite dinosaur. It is one of my favorite dinosaurs of all time. I have a story about it that I won't share right now, but yeah, I'm super excited for this. You can see in the bottom corner here, they have a size comparison. So it's about waist height on a average person. apparently. It's a lot smaller than I would have thought personally, but I'm super excited for this. And this is skin 1, it says, out of how many? 2, 3, 4 maybe? I don't know. It doesn't say, but I'm super excited for it. And they even mentioned here that originally it was described as a egg thief. Now it is understood that Oviraptor was more of a dinosaur that cared for their young. So I believe the common research now is that here they go, they say it right here. I'm getting ahead of myself. If I ever learned how to read, then maybe I could articulate this. But they have protrusions in their mouth that allow them to easily break down various fruits and nuts. So it is understood now that Oviraptor, its name is misleading. Its name, again, translates to egg thief, because initially they found the fossils near eggs and they thought, oh, well, this dinosaur must have eaten eggs and therefore must have stole eggs from other dinosaurs' nests. We know that that is not true now, or at least modern common research is telling us that that is not true, and that instead these beaks here that Oviraptor has are similar to the beaks of modern day birds. And I'm sure Nigel Marvin will even say something like that in there, that the beaks are similar to modern day bird beaks and that they eat fruits and nuts, just like, you know, a parrot or something today. Moving on then to the end where the spotlight have awesome art by Sir Yepeto, I believe is how you pronounce that, with the Acrocanthosaurus, one of my favorite dinosaurs, of course. And then we have, oh my god, this is what? Oh no, this is not great. This is a this is a picture of a Coelodonta being hunted. Why would they do this? Also, though, you know, whatever, it's okay. Art is art. And then this awesome build here where, you know, guests can walk up and see a viewing area. Very inspiring. I might steal some of that idea there. So update 15 is coming out soon. August is the official release date for that. We will hope that they will hit that. They have not missed a deadline yet that I am aware of. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below as well. I know this was a long one and this has been a long time coming. This is the first video that I have released in some time. Let me know, what do you want to see on the channel? What do you want more of? I know a lot of you subscribed for 2 Point Museum. There's also a big update that just came out for that. If you want me to play more of that, let me know. If you want me to play more Prehistoric Kingdom, let me know. Just let me know your thoughts. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, since I've seen you all. So let me know in the comments how you are. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you. I could not be making these videos without you all, without your support. Your support really is everything to these videos and to this channel here. So again, I just want to say thank you. There's a million things you could have been doing, and you chose to spend a little bit of that time here with me and to go over this dev diary here for June 2025. So with that, without further ado, I will see you all in the next one. Take care for now.